Hello, I'm Emily Boissonneau, and this is Fox News. Car manufacturers have been trying to get autonomous cars, also known as self-driving cars, on the road as fast as they can. But is it safe, or are they rushing it? About a month ago, a semi-autonomous car, the Tesla Model X, ran into a highway barrier while in autopilot, causing the car to catch on fire and kill the driver. There was also another recent accident while Uber's self-driving car hit and killed a pedestrian who was crossing the street. Both of these accidents should have been prevented based on the time and distance the car had to respond. Earlier today, I met with public health and ethics expert Taylor Bryant to discuss her opinion on autonomous cars. I'm here with public health and ethics expert Taylor Bryant.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
So, as a public health expert, what is your view on autonomous cars?
Well, part of public health is injury prevention. So, given the recent fatalities, it is hard to suggest that people should buy these cars. I think that car manufacturers should not rush to get autonomous cars on the road, but first perfect the technology to prevent any more injuries.
How are ethics involved with autonomous cars?
Ethics are involved because there are going to be situations in which the car is going to have no choice but to crash. When put in the situation, the car will have a setting that will dictate which direction to go, and therefore what to hit. An example of this would be if there are 5 pedestrians crossing the street, and another person walking the sidewalk. The car could either continue forward and potentially kill the 5 pedestrians crossing the street, swerve and hit the person walking on the sidewalk, or run off the road and potentially kill the driver. In situations like this, there must be a default setting for the car to follow. Obviously, if there's a way for the car to avoid the accident with no one getting hurt, it will do that, but this will not always be the case.
So who picks the setting?
Well, that is also an ethical dilemma. There could either be a personal ethics setting or a mandatory ethics setting that each car would have. The personal ethics setting would be when the driver must decide what to do in a crash situation. The mandatory ethics setting would provide each car with the same setting in which the goal would be to injure the least amount of people.
When there is an accident, who is going to be liable?
Well, that is another considerable factor with the ethical settings. With the personal ethics setting, the driver would be liable for whatever setting he or she chooses. Although the drivers are picking the setting, the company could also be considered liable for forcing the driver to make a decision that makes another person a target. This is something that still needs to be figured out.
Are there any other threats with the use of autonomous cars?
Well, we can't forget that due to the technological reliance of these cars, that there is a potential for difficulties. Whether these difficulties stem from malfunctions within the car or from people hacking into the system. If hackers get into the car systems, they may force the car to disregard objects in the road or the people. Although these threats may be less likely, they cannot be overlooked.
So if you don't mind me asking, what is your personal opinion on autonomous cars?
See, that's so tricky. I mean, obviously, there are going to be disadvantages and advantages to it, but I feel like it's just way too early in the game to really form an opinion. Once there's more research and we see how, future technology is working, then I feel like that's when I can truly make an opinion.
Okay, so speaking of advantages, could you name a few?
Of course, so there's a lot of accidents nowadays with people texting and driving, but autonomous cars would eliminate that problem. And also there'd be more traffic control, so, no more waiting 20 minutes to get to work, it would be moving a lot more smoother.
Thank you for being here and talking to me about autonomous cars.
My pleasure.
It's very nice to meet you.
You as well.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.